enough to take you home, that you are still wearing a uniform that you bought with your own money 5 years ago. It's no news that the government has not done enough by you. We feel your pain and we wish things could be different as we continue to call on government to wake up to their responsibilities. We want the police to be our friends, just as it is boldly stated across the various police stations nationwide. And from mainland 98.3 FM, we implore you to do better. We love you and we support you always.
Knowledge is power, information is key, and that is why we aim to unlock the doors of opinion, unveiling the stories that need to be told. The Morning Express on mainland 98.3 FM from 5 a.m. to 11 a.m. as we invoke the thought-provoking discussion, tackle the tough questions, challenge assumption, and give a voice to the unheard. This
Good morning and welcome to the Morning Express on mainland 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos. My name is Sage Babalola. It's a pleasure to be with you this morning. And I believe it's still drizzling at the moment, and it's been an unpleasurable experience for those who reside in flood-prone areas. But before we start talking about all of that, I should first apologize for the delay in starting the program. We just needed to make sure things were in place so we don't have any interruption as we proceed into the conversation. My name once again is Sage Babalola. You're welcome to mainland 98.3 FM. What stories have been deemed the most significant such that they're being reflected on the front covers. We will look at these stories, and if there's a need for us to look through the pages, the actual center pages of the papers, we will do so just to give more context to these stories. Before we start of October, but as we promised you, we're starting all activities from the 25th September, which happens to be today. So from today up until the 3rd, attention and choosing us as your number one when it comes to analysis and information, and also giving your feedback, giving your airtime, giving your data, joining. So the best of our ability, we would give as much as we can give back, just so you understand how important and how significant you are to us. So from today, we started yesterday actually to give out airtime, but today, as always, we have our trivia posted up on our social media platform. I told the question correctly for all 5 to 7 days. You get the airtime for all 5 to 7 days. We don't do, oh, you won yesterday, you can't win today. We're not doing that. As long as you participate, you get the answer correctly, for you to come and be in the live studio and spend time with your favorite presenter. Now, each presenter would have a way of selecting who they think to be their best listener of the year so far. And you'll be with us all day here at mainland 98.3 FM, and we will bring you live on air. That is our way of saying thank you, and also to test if truly you're dedicated to the programs that you have been selected. Also, Pulse, those are our partners. We're playing a match against them, a friend. We're hoping that maybe we'll bring back the trophy, but if not, it was 2 hours of how we can start to fix what is wrong with the primary focus of the day. Trends in the papers. We're looking at the Punch, we're looking at Vanguard, and we're looking at the Guardian newspaper. And the best way to open the conversation for today, Nigeria is prepping for its 65th anniversary, and that happens on October 1st. And we have gotten the official theme for the Nigeria's 65th anniversary, as the federal government did announce Data Nation. That is the theme, and this theme underscores the need for collaboration, the need for unity between government institutions, private sector. For that particular theme, all hands on deck for a great encapsulates everything that
we're on the show this morning. Now,
yes. Are you in a flooded area? Is you live in Cameroon?
Whatever. But no water here. We're not sailing here.
Well,
it's all dry.
It's not. That's
all
not the same
good.
story. The island is an absolute. It's just, and even those who do the small boats, they actually are using that on the island now. So you pay a certain, because some people are flooded. The entire money off of it now. That's how bad the situation is. Operations. Although Nimet is saying that this is just the and I don't know, just work out something.
And throwing of dead into drainage.
The sand feeling.
I think in one of the reports I saw that the Lagos State government is apologizing and we need to begin to invest heavily understanding the nature and topography of Lagos. The good thing is, I'm saying, the island particularly, the Lagos State government is probably to put heads together with experts. Sworn sometimes will take 2-3 hours of rain and everywhere is messed up. So the government needs to do something about it.
Hands on deck for a greater nation, and the thought behind this theme is just unity, collaboration, how we can all join hands, be devils us as a country. The appropriate theme, yes. That's the theme.
Again, beautiful theme, but all hands on deck, I think would only make sense if we all play our own roles, because I think the idea is that, look, the country to an enviable eye, right?
Yes.
But then, it's for me, it's deeper and bigger than just mere sloganeering as a team. We are used to all of these kinds of situations and set an agenda. But what we are always lacking, what is always lacking in our conversation is the commitment. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
How well are they even doing their own responsibilities? For example, if we say we run a constitutional democracy, it's obedience to the rule of law. You understand what I'm saying? So if you have a situation where we are desecrating our laws, disrespectful, so you see, we cannot put on what I'm saying. So we cannot put our hands on deck, but we cannot all have all of those hands on deck. And then one hand is messing things up and a great country again. But the leadership has got a lot of roles to play beyond just putting out slogans that they themselves will not even be committed to. So it's just what it is. At the level, are they playing their roles well? The judiciary, are they also played well? An engineer well. Let everybody do. So I like the theme. As they put out the agenda, they also show serious task force with respect to the rule of law.
All right, then. Well, all hands on deck. Everybody should play their own part. The laws should be respected. Development. There's a series of events planned out. Of course, there's the Jumat prayer. There's the in another 2 to 3 days, because it's 5 days away. We would be singing 98.3 FM. Let's go on to other stories here because we are seriously out of time. Punch newspaper, I will protect Yoruba's in his place in his heart if his administration's policies and he's elected in 2027. He described the unfounded narrative, the entire Yoruba stock is my larger extended family and in-law, among this noble species of human race, which by this token implies that the bond uniting me together with the Yoruba is aptly like the genetic bond of a family. This is why the Yoruba, whether individually or collectively, have always occupied the 7. There will be some sort of Hausa Fulani domination in the country. And he's proven this point by highlighting that he's actually married to a Yoruba woman. They've been together. I'm just reading the report. That's exactly what the report says. So you don't have to be afraid. I will prioritize you if you elect me.
Well, I don't know the audience, but sometimes the audience determines how some of these things are said and why they are said in the first place. So if he becomes president, again, as far as we know of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, he's not really presented himself like someone who's going to toe that path, Atiku Abubakar. And I think he's a man who has got friends all across. Really, again, I don't know why exactly if it really matters, truly, if you understand what I'm saying. But again, Atiku has not really been someone that anybody can easily accuse of Atiku Abubakar. Then the other one that we need to talk about, is, look, when you say, look, the Yoruba interest will be protected, what is the Yoruba interest? Do we have a collective interest as a people, Yoruba people, that Atiku knows about? By interest. Because this idea of politicians thinking that the interest of a race or an ethnic group is appointing their own person does not make any sense to a people, not just a few individuals who are political jobbers who now present their own self-interest as if it's a regional interest. It's a very common thing. And not for a few politicians in Igbo land looking for jobs, using that as a decoy to now force the hand of the people in government to appoint them. So it's not going to stop us from having a local government chairman and councillors. FAC allocation will still come here. So I think our politicians should speak more, continue to pretend as if they are pushing a regional agenda.
Well, that's Tağᴇ's position. If you elect, well, I have a wife that comes from your place, so you have nothing to worry about. That's that particular report. So speaking of regional,
Maybe to ensure us, you should marry a second.
what does that? I don't know. I'm confused. I'm not supposed to have an opinion.
That's why she should take two.
I can marry a Cameroonian. It doesn't do anything for me. That is his proof of loyalty to a tribe.
Our politicians just have a way of just majoring on the minor, you know.
Like me, immediately trust in your ability as a leader. Like that's good for you, but I don't think that what somebody from my tribe, that has never crossed my mind before in my life. So I don't I don't know why. Good for him. Let's talk about regional interest, as you had mentioned. Commander of the Order of the Niger posthumously on 4 late Ogoni leaders. They are Albert Badi, Edward Kubani, Théophile Exaltation Committee at the State House, Abuja on Wednesday. He urged the people, I urge the Ogoni people across classes, communities, and generations to close rank, put this dark chapter behind us, and move forward as a united oil production to 2 million barrels. Now, there was discontinued in that place with the carnage that happened and the pushback from the people of Ogoni land. And when the president also conferred national honors on some individuals, many had said, oh, what about the people? And is asking that the Ogoni people open their heart to reconciliation. Hopefully, this will lead to allowing exploration to continue in that place, but with a promise of fixing the damage that prevented.
Actually, the report in itself has also been able to address some of these things I would have talked about. Because again, beyond honoring the heroes of Ogoni, it has to be honored. And how do you honor the Ogoni people? First, you need to go and clean up that environment. They talk about cleaning Ogoni land has been ongoing for the place that is a coastal town, and farmers cannot go to farm. They can't even do anything. Abacha did what he did at that time. But moving forward, I think that it shouldn't just be the whole commitment to ensuring that we protect the environment. What needs to be, even in Ogoni land alone, the entire Niger Delta, because it must not suffer because of what we have come there to announce for the betterment of the entire country. So again, I like the fact that but going forward as we explore these resources, because it belongs to the entire country, we must also ensure that priority should be given to those communities. It's sickening to know that sometimes you go to there are some Niger Delta communities without power supply. I'm saying we need to talk to the governors, because again, there's 13% into the Niger Delta region to help with some of these conversations, but the political leadership of that region is not doing enough. So they also just throw them under the bus and they don't really care about their health, welfare, and well-being. So let's see whether we're going to have something different from what had happened in the past. The people deserve the more. The entire Niger Delta region.
We're also taking care of them, because we know what happened. It was 2 years ago where people were died respiratory problems. Some people had died because they didn't know what they were coughing black soot, and then they realized it was in the air from the exploration. So we need to. There's an arrangement for that. In another one, there's a way it's supposed to go. There's a process, but obviously we're not a country that pays attention to regulations.
And the IOCs too should be more. We have to hold them to the best practices, international best practices when it comes to doing business there.
Indeed. Well, congratulations to the Ogoni people allowing exploration to happen on their land again. That's still in the Punch newspaper. We're live on Facebook and on YouTube at Mainland 98.3 FM. My name is Sage Babalola. This is Trends in the Papers, and we're looking at the Punch newspaper. Fuad joins us via the NSIB. The Nigeria Safety Investigation Bureau has revealed that poor infrastructure, maintenance, and operational lapses were the primary cause of the Abuja-Kaduna derailment that occurred on August 26, 2025. The Bureau's preliminary report, systemic failure. Now, the NRC had initially says it was safety bureau says that's not exactly the point. It was neglected infrastructure. There was a broken point clip and an unserviceable automatic switch, which is a very risky procedure, and that ultimately sets the stage for this disaster. So the NRC is basically blaming human error. Oh, it was speeding. It was the driver that was speeding. They applied the brake system too fast. But the safety bureau says that's not the truth. That's to manually operate that system. Hence the catastrophe that we saw on August 26th. What?
I think the the safety commission, any Nigerian who uses the rail to begin to see. So when the thing first happened, the first thing that came to the mind of many Nigerians,
Yeah, it was.
there was no attack, nobody was abducted. So what could have happened? The initial report from the NLC was human error that were supposed to have been fixed that was not fixed. So I would think that it's not going to be much about blame game now. Thank God no life was lost.
All right.
Going forward, it's not about denying or trying to lie about these things to cover that particular situation. He has apologized on that. I'm talking of Mr. Okwefa. I think you just open up question and then let's just fix the problem and get more.
Hello? The website decides upon me. Okay, I have it back now. Ibas meets Tinubu EFCC chair in Aso Rock. Now, the immediate past River State Administrator, Vice Admiral Ibok Ete Ibas, retired, was on Wednesday in Aso Rock, where he was with Financial Crimes Commission, Ola Olukoyede. Ibas, who bowed out as River State Administrator on September 17, was spending 6 months in the saddle. An administrator rejected calls by the River State House of Assembly to probe. The president confirmed that Ibas' appearance, of course, his media aide said, you didn't put him there. He's not answerable to you. He doesn't have to tell you anything. The president put him there, finance coordinating a minister of the economy, and we also had the EFCC chair Ola Olukoyede in that meeting. Now, some are assuming because of the personalities in that meeting that it might be something of a subtle probe. None of them has given an official report. In fact, his media aide said he did not know anything about the meeting. That's what the Punch is telling us. What?
But say, why do you think the president, for example, got in some other reports, been out of the sole administratorship now for how many days? And so for him to have appeared, all by himself, you have the Minister of Finance, and then they discuss. So the 6 months, over 250 billion. In fact, allocation has gone to River State to use legality to challenge what was an illegality in the first place. Because the man, and that's what I'm telling the State House of Assembly members, that we're accountable to them. And that's why we're saying that, look, the entire thing was a company. You understand what I'm saying? That's why I said that having everybody's hands on deck to push this country towards prosperity of things. The Assembly members, I'm sure they must have gotten some information. But what can they do? Say, what can they do? They themselves were the people that did not allow the state to have traitor. It was there under some form of illegal martial law. It was never known to the law in the first place. That idea you can do about it. My mind tells me there's really nothing they will be able to do about what must have happened or what most likely happened with their resources. But the law, I'm sorry, there's the train has gone very far. They can't take it back.
I mean, they decide to do something about it. We don't know that.
So what can they do now? Like, so what the meeting was all about now. They didn't give us an information of what they discussed.
Okay, so let's not do.
You understand what I'm saying? If they have made it, what if the president was asking questions?
Inappropriate, and they decide to do something about it. I mean, is he not supposed to try to find out what you did, even if he put you there?
So the man will just go there and do the bidding of the people that put him there, or he will not help himself.
Again,
if they think he will not help himself, someone should ask, wait now, say, under what condition was the man remunerated for the 6 months? Who determined what he was paid for that 6 months? And he is not a governor. So how did they remunerate him? Did they pay him? Did they pay him from Aso Rock? Or they paid him with Rivers money? And who determined what he was going to be paid?
As we both don't know, let's go away from that story and talk about...
the president, okay, what do you want me to do? I did everything you wanted me to do.
Would you actually say that, for God's sake? Tinubu urges sweeping UN reforms for Palestinian statehood to global justice, urges leaders clash over sanctions, security reform. So, of course, the far-reaching institutional reforms or risks sliding into irrelevant the country. The president is saying that you need to do something about this or the UN might just be irrelevant. I think that one really concerns us. Do you for it?
Well, again, a lot made several calls. One of them is to say a lot of countries in Africa are not happy about that. Look, after years, to represent the entire African interest at the UN. So push it, if you understand what I'm saying. If Africa eventually gets that permanent seat. So beyond all of that, we are a non-aligned nation. Say, positions Nigeria is pushing is that, look, there has to be a ceasefire, the war must end, which I think a lot of countries, that's why you can see that, look, about 157 countries have now recognized the state of Palestine, Canada too. Israel and the US are not. The Oslo Accord of a two-state solution is something that has to be achieved. Benjamin Netanyahu and his Zionist movement are saying that they don't want is the other option.
Occupation,
there's something on the table. So something has to be done. So, but unfortunately, it's been a lot of investigate why is escalator stalled while himself and the wife, the first lady, were on the escalator. He has also complained about the teleprompter attack, and it must be investigated. And people caught to have done that must be jailed. A whole lot of things. He talked about immigration. I don't know.
Well,
I think
to whether or not they would agree to put Nigeria on the Security Council, and because that's what I want to see if we're going to be allowed to sit on the Security Council.
It's unfortunate this was going to come up. Decided to choose South Africa over Nigeria.
I don't know.
We decide your country. What about processes? What about the rule of law? The member is not even the real member. There's a name they call it.
I can't remember either.
Whereas South Africa was already on the seat. The largest economy, the most populous, the largest in terms of resources, both to want to do business with us or associate with us.
Well, we have to go, but other headlines here. FG announces tuition-free education in technical colleges. And
so why are we not meeting our target?
Yes,
if food oil theft is down by 90%, why are we not close to it?
And that's everything. Lagos NBA probes Afriland Towers fire, the one that led to the loss of about 4 lives.
I think the family members of those that lost their lives can also press charges.
My press in Land Focus is open mic Thursday, so you can peek